chosen soul. Stop right here. Don't scroll. This moment does not come twice. If you are hearing this right now, it isn't random and it isn't by accident. Something precise has intersected your path, and it is asking for your full attention. Not later, not when it is convenient, but now, 30 minutes. That is all. Miss this window, and you will not even realize what slipped past you. What is unfolding here has the power to root everything you thought was on delay. The quiet hopes you never said out loud, the chances you assumed would come around again. The feeling that you waited just a little too long. They haven't disappeared. They have been moving, and they are closer than you think. But closeness isn't enough. Timing is everything, and most people fail right here. Not because they weren't worthy, but because they didn't recognize the moment while it was still open. This isn't motivation. This isn't encouragement. This is alignment. A precise adjustment that only happens when you are present enough to receive it. Right now, something is being positioned behind the scenes. You will not see it yet. You are not meant to. Not until later. All you need to know is this: hesitation carries consequences and distraction has a cost. Walk away now and the door quietly closes. Stay, and you will understand why you were pulled here in the first place. Things are about to start moving faster than logic can explain. Pieces you stopped trying to force will begin locking into place on their own. But only if you stay. Only if you don't hand this moment away to noise, doubt, or the false belief that there will be more time. Before this goes any further, pause for just a second. Commit signal that you are here. Not halfway, not multitasking, but fully. Because those who recognize moments like this don't stumble into them. They respond to them. Some people will feel an urge to leave. They will tell themselves they will come back later. They usually don't. Others will feel something deeper, a quiet pressure to stay, even without fully understanding why. If that is you, pay attention. That sensitivity is not common. What comes next will change the way you move forward. Not gradually, not someday. Starting now, paths will open, resistance will ease. Clarity will arrive in places that used to feel blocked. This time was demanded because it is sufficient. Nothing more is required. 30 minutes enough to shift from waiting to stepping forward. Enough to move from almost to already. Silence everything else. Stay right here. What is about to be revealed isn't for everyone. But if you are still listening, it is for you. Prepare yourself to receive. Not someday. Not when life quiets down. But now, in this exact breath. What is reaching for you in this moment is not distant. It is near, deliberate, and deeply personal. The noise, the rush, the constant pull of everything demanding your attention has done its work for long enough. This moment asks for something different. Not fragments of you, all of you, your presence without escape. This is not an ordinary pause in your day. This is the kind of moment that reshapes a life quietly, the way a single encounter changed Moses at the burning bush, or how a whispered call in the night awakened Samuel before he even knew who was speaking. You are standing inside a conversation that carries weight, one that does not repeat itself in the same form twice. What is about to be revealed cannot land in a distracted heart. Delay has a cost. Even when it feels harmless, many turning points are missed. Not through rebellion, but through postponement. The voice that draws you now is not loud, but it is insistent, filled with intention and love. It does not compete with the world's chaos. It waits for your attention. And if you choose presence, everything that follows begins to realign. Let this moment slow you from the inside out. Sense what is surrounding you, not as an idea but as a living reality pressing gently into your awareness. What feels like a small window is more than enough. History has turned on moments far quieter than this. A shepherd boy stepping forward, a woman reaching through a crowd, a fisherman leaving his nets behind without knowing why. This is that kind of moment. You are not here by coincidence. You are here because something in you was able to recognize the pull. Chosen does not mean elevated above others. It means called awake. It means entrusted. Your life, with all its fractures and triumphs, has been shaping you toward this convergence long before you understood its purpose. There are doors already unlocked, paths already aligned, answers already moving toward you. What remains is your willingness to listen without armor, to remember who you were before fear taught you to shrink. Think back to the times you felt guided without explanation, protected without proof, redirected without clarity. Those were rehearsals. What unfolds next depends on your response. Stay present, stay open. Something ancient and intentional is reaching for you now, and it knows your name. Those moments you remember, the quiet nudges, the interruptions that made no sense at the time, were never random. They were signals, small unveilings meant to train your spirit to recognize what is happening now. Long before you understood the shape of your calling, preparation was already underway. What looks like disorder from the surface has always been governed by precision beneath it. This is how divine timing works. It moves you from formation into motion, from anticipation into embodiment, from belief into lived reality. This is the moment that asks for your answer. Not tomorrow, not once you feel braver. Fear has had enough influence. Doubt has had its season. What stands before you now is not a distant future, but a living invitation. You are not observing destiny from afar. You are being summoned into it. What is required is not perfection, but presence. Not certainty, but consent. You are standing at the edge of something vast, like Israel, at the threshold of the Red Sea, where forward movement looked impossible until the step was taken. The opening does not precede the decision. It follows it. The door responds to readiness, and readiness is not proven by feeling prepared, but by speaking alignment into the moment. 3 words carry more weight than you realize. I am ready. Every turning point in Scripture begins here. Noah did not wait for rain before building. Moses did not wait for confidence before approaching Pharaoh. David did not wait to feel qualified before stepping toward Goliath. Movement always came first. Heaven responded second. In the same way, what has been arranged for your life requires your participation. The plan is complete, but the activation is not automatic. When you say, I am ready, something shifts beneath the surface. Not emotionally, but spiritually. You step into agreement with what has been waiting for you. Readiness is not a feeling. It is a posture. It is the moment you stop asking for signs and become the sign. This is where alignment turns into acceleration. You are standing at a threshold now. Behind you is delay, repetition, and hesitation. Ahead of you is the life that has been forming quietly while you wondered if it was too late. It is not, but timing is sacred. Delay dulls momentum. Stillness becomes stagnation when it outlives its purpose. Action restores flow. Remember the prodigal son. Grace did not meet him while he was still rehearsing his return. It met him when he turned and moved. Remember Esther. Courage did not wait until safety was guaranteed. It emerged when she stepped forward and history bent around her decision. This is that kind of moment. The waiting season is complete. What remains is your response. Speak readiness into the space you are standing in. Step forward, even if your hands shake. What has been approaching you is already in motion, and it recognizes readiness when it hears it. Before we go any further, pause for a moment. If something is already stirring within you, if this message is reaching into places you rarely speak of, respond with intention. Do something meaningful with what you are sensing right now. First, like this message so it can reach others who are searching for hope and clarity. Then share it with someone who needs encouragement today. Someone who may be ready to receive this confirmation. And if you haven't yet, subscribe and stay connected, not just to a channel, but to a growing stream of messages meant for this season. As we are moving toward 10,000 subscribers, your connection helps ensure this message continues reaching the hearts it was meant for. Now, take a moment to go to the comments and write 999 or 777, and also share your city and where you are listening from. Let this be a quiet but powerful declaration of readiness and alignment as you move forward. This is not just content, this is confirmation, this is alignment. This is for those who have been quietly preparing for a deeper level of growth and restoration. And to everyone who chooses to support this work through sharing engagement or by using the Super Thanks feature, know this: your support is seen. It matters, and it helps this message reach those who need it most. Thank you for being part of this moment. Amen. Your story stands at the same turning point. Momentum is already rising beneath your feet, and it is waiting for your consent to move through you. Delay here is not neutral. Hesitation does not simply pause the process. It can interrupt the fullness of what has been arranged. There is an urgency pressing gently but firmly against your spirit right now. Not fear, not pressure. A summons, a quiet insistence drawing you forward. What you may call a small step carries more weight than you realize. Obedience, even when it feels ordinary, creates access. It clears space. It signals readiness. This is how power begins to move. Love is not distant or symbolic here. It is active, searching, reaching into the places you have hidden, even the ones you have judged unworthy. It finds you there, not to condemn, but to lift, to remind, to restore you to your true height. Picture love not as an idea, but as a current, steady and unstoppable, washing through every place fear once occupied. Where doubt tried to settle, clarity begins to rise. Where heaviness lingered, peace takes its place. This love does not retreat when you falter. It pursues like daylight, faithful and inevitable. And when you allow yourself to feel it fully, something ancient within you wakes up. As your heart opens, capacity expands, direction sharpens, favor begins to flow where resistance once lived. This love is not meant to soothe you into stillness. It is meant to strengthen you into motion. It fuels courage. It sharpens vision. It anchors you when movement feels risky. To receive, it is to step into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. Change is not distant anymore. It is close enough to touch. The moment alignment settles in, the shape of your life begins to shift. Old struggles loosen their grip. What once defined you no longer limits you. This is not imagination. It is activation, the inner agreement that allows outer reality to reorganize itself. History remembers moments like this. Joseph did not remain defined by the prison once the time came. Mary Magdalene did not remain bound to her sorrow when purpose called her name. Transformation has always arrived when readiness met love, and now you stand where they once stood, at the edge of a future that requires courage to enter. Everything has been prepared. The timing, the conditions, the invitation. What remains is your response. This is the threshold where preparation ends and becoming begins. You have already walked the long road that led here. Now the next level is open, and stepping forward will carry you into more than you imagined possible. Now the final step stands directly in front of you. This is not an idea, not a reflection, not something to carry with you and consider later. It is the convergence of every unseen prayer, every quiet sacrifice, every season where you kept going without proof. What is being asked of you now is courage in motion. The path ahead has already been prepared. What you feel as hesitation is human, but it is no match for the momentum that has been building to bring you here. Look back and see your life as a long ascent. Each step mattered. Some were taken with confidence, others with trembling knees. Yet every one of them brought you here to this final rise where release is required. Control must loosen, trust mustn't. You are not stepping into emptiness. You are stepping into partnership. Faith meets power here, and when they move together, outcomes change dramatically. This is the moment movement matters. Let readiness move from thought into sound. Declare it. Let your inner alignment become external agreement. This step is not symbolic. It carries weight. It triggers motion. When readiness is spoken, things begin to rearrange themselves. Timing accelerates. Provision responds. What has been waiting quietly begins to surge forward. Words spoken from alignment do not drift into the air. They unlock. A single declaration can set off a chain reaction. Doors open that logic cannot explain. Conditions shift without warning. This is how transformation moves, not gradually but decisively. God responds to courage because courage signals trust, and trust creates access. Readiness is not passive hope. It is active participation. Think of Peter stepping out onto the water. The miracle did not appear while he stayed in the boat. It manifested when his foot moved forward. Think of Joshua at the Jordan. The river did not part in advance. It parted when the priest stepped in. Movement has always been the signal. Heaven responds to action. Let your readiness settle deep within you. Say it. I am ready. Feel the internal shift as resistance gives way to flow. Opportunity does not knock softly in moments like this. It opens suddenly. Favor moves quickly when alignment is clear. Miracles often arrive immediately after readiness is claimed because willingness is the ignition. There is a role prepared for you that cannot be filled by anyone else. Power without participation remains potential. Stillness past its season becomes delay. Engagement turns intention into reality. Every aligned step becomes catalytic. This is how prayer becomes manifestation. Remember the servant who multiplied what was placed in his hands. Action created increase. The one who buried his gift remained unchanged. You carry purpose, wisdom, and capacity meant to move, not hide. Stepping forward allows what has been stored within you to finally flow outward. Do not wait for pressure to push you. Choose to move with awareness. Recognize your place in what is unfolding and act with clarity. This is not a casual invitation. It is a defining moment. Readiness, courage, and participation are the keys that unlock what comes next. And what opens now will not only change your path, but ripple into the lives around you. What is being asked of you now goes beyond a pause. This is a summons into full attention. A call that reaches for your consent, not your curiosity. What unfolds next depends on your willingness to stay present, to listen without defenses, to engage without retreat. This is not a passing moment. It is a decisive exchange where direction is clarified and destiny is shaped. Like standing before the Creator in council, the weight of this dialogue rests on what you choose to do with it. Every inner agreement matters here, every thought you allow space to breathe, every hesitation you entertain. These are not small things. Insight meant to lift you higher requires room to land. Guidance meant to advance you demands openness. This is an invitation into sacred conversation, one that cannot coexist with distraction. Still, your surroundings quiet the inner noise. Let your awareness become undivided. What follows is not subtle. Strength will rise where weakness once lingered. Direction will replace confusion. Capacity will expand beyond what you believed possible. Prepare yourself from the inside out. What is approaching is not incremental change. It is realignment on multiple levels at once. The kind that leaves you standing in awe of how quickly things can turn. Imagine movement across every area of your life at the same time: work, relationships, provision, purpose. This is orchestration, not coincidence. The same power that brought down the walls of Jericho through sustained faith, that called Lazarus out of the grave, that positioned Esther to save a nation, is still active, and it moves with precision. You are standing at the edge of that same kind of convergence. Anticipation is rising for a reason. This is not fantasy. It is readiness being awakened. Timing is exact. Power is present. But reception matters. Awe opens the heart. Gratitude steadies it. Courage activates it. Without readiness, even abundance cannot fully land. What is unfolding respects your will. Intervention does not override consent. If you are unwilling to receive, to act, to participate, even the greatest gift remains unopened. Readiness is the catalyst. It is the spark that turns intention into manifestation. You are not a spectator, you are a partner. This partnership has always required movement. Think of Gideon, who moved forward while still questioning. Think of Hannah, who stood and spoke before circumstances changed. Think of the blind man who cried out despite the crowd telling him to be silent. Action preceded clarity. Courage came before confirmation. Each step you take amplifies momentum. Each aligned choice accelerates outcome. This is the moment to rise beyond hesitation. Step into participation. Let what is being offered move through you, not around you. Nothing about this moment is ordinary. It is pivotal. What you decide now carries forward. Even pauses have weight. Every response shapes what comes next. This timing has been arranged not to pressure you, but to position you. One decisive moment can redirect an entire future. Life moves like a river. Miss the current, and it passes. Enter it, and it carries you farther than effort ever could. What is being written now is not symbolic. It is real. This moment is the pen in motion. There is a role prepared for you that cannot be filled by another. Authority grows when identity is claimed. Purpose sharpens when alignment is chosen. Standing up to this call takes courage. But courage has always been the doorway to transformation. Moses stepped forward. David answered the call. Ruth chose loyalty over fear, and generations were changed. In the same way, your willingness to stand now is not merely personal. It activates what has been waiting for you and positions you fully within what you were chosen to fulfill. Do not draw back now. This is the moment to rise, to accept the weight and the honor of what has been entrusted to you. Step fully into the space prepared for you. When you move in faith, power moves freely. What is coming will not unfold slowly. It will arrive with force, clarity, and undeniable impact. Elevation is near, and it will astonish you. This is not a gradual climb. It is a sudden crossing into a higher level of purpose, provision, and spiritual authority. History remembers moments like this. Waters opened, chains fell, sight was restored in an instant. Your transition will carry that same unmistakable signature. What you feel now, anticipation or even fear, is not a warning. It is confirmation. This surge is not meant to break you. It is meant to position you. What you have been waiting for is closer than it appears. Circumstances have been aligning quietly, people shifting into place, doors loosening on their hinges. What once felt delayed is about to move all at once. Breakthrough does not always announce itself early. Sometimes it strikes like lightning, sudden and illuminating. You may feel unready. That feeling has accompanied every great turning point. Joseph felt it in the prison. Job felt it in the ashes. Yet the shift came anyway, not because they felt prepared, but because the timing was complete. Release resistance. Stay open. What is arriving will change your trajectory. Nothing has been wasted. Every struggle, every unanswered prayer, every detour has been part of the construction. Favor is not arriving in fragments. It is coming whole. Things will begin to align with precision. Doors will open without force. People will notice. Opportunities will appear where none existed. What looks like coincidence is alignment. What feels sudden has been building for years. This is acceleration. The harvest moment when effort meets divine speed. Like a field ready at once, what you planted patiently is now rising together. Remain receptive. Gratitude keeps the flow open. Faith keeps you aligned. What unfolds next will stretch your understanding of what is possible. The results will not only bless you, they will speak through you. This next level is real. It has been prepared with intention. Every prayer and act of obedience has brought you here. Hesitation delays nothing forever, but courage releases everything now. Step forward. You are ready, and what awaits you is greater than you imagined, yet perfectly matched to who you have become. What you survived was never proof of your weakness. It was evidence that something immense was placed inside you long before the breaking began. The collapse did not disqualify you. The pain did not derail you. The trials did not delay you. They marked you. What tried to destroy you was permitted only because it could not. You were being tempered, not punished, pressed, not abandoned, watched the entire time. Blessings do not always arrive gently. They arrive with force, with disruption, with shock. They emerge from places no one would look, through paths no one would choose, manna in a desert, oil multiplying in the hands of a widow, prison doors opening when chains felt permanent. These moments were never predictable, yet they were exact. And the same pattern is moving toward you now. Your pain was not wasted. Your waiting was not empty. Every season where nothing made sense was shaping your capacity to hold what is coming next. You were not being comforted. You were being conditioned. There is a difference. Comfort soothes. Conditioning awakens, and you are being awakened. Do not shrink your expectation now. Do not ask for what is reasonable. What is approaching will defy logic, bypass planning, and ignore the timelines you were taught to trust. These blessings are not meant to end with you. They are meant to signal, to stir, to unsettle others into remembering what is possible. Your life is becoming a signpost. Abraham waited beyond reason. Joseph endured beyond explanation. Neither saw the full picture while they were inside the process. Yet when the moment arrived, it arrived whole, complete, irreversible. That is how harvest works. It does not trickle. It breaks through. What you endured refined your sight. It taught you discernment. It stripped illusions. It prepared you to receive without being consumed. Strength was forged in you so that abundance would not distort you. Wisdom was carved into you so that favor would not mislead you. This is not coincidence. This is calibration. You are being led. Not gently guided, but summoned. Marked not for survival, but for impact. Not to be spared from fire, but to walk through it, carrying authority. What is unfolding now is not the end of a story. It is the moment the ground begins to shift beneath everything you thought was settled. Stay alert. Stay open. Something has just moved into position, and the sound you hear is not closure, but the first hinge turning as a door you didn't know existed begins to open. Heavenly Father, I come before you in this sacred moment, not as a spectator, but as one who has been summoned. I quiet every distraction, every fear, every doubt, and I bring you my full attention. You have been guiding me long before I understood the path, shaping me through waiting, through breaking, through hidden preparation. Now I stand here not by accident, but by divine appointment. I say yes to what you are revealing. I say yes to alignment. I say yes to the calling that has been stirring in my spirit. Remove every hesitation that keeps me small. Let your truth replace my uncertainty. Let your presence become my confidence. I open my heart, my future, and my steps to you. I declare that I am ready, ready to move, ready to receive, ready to walk into what has been prepared for me. Let what has been waiting now begin to move. In your name, I step forward. Amen. If this prayer stirred something in your spirit, if today's message touched the quiet places you rarely speak of, don't hold it inside. Take a moment to go to the comments and write 999 or 777, and also share your city and where you are listening from. Let this be a quiet declaration between you and heaven, sealing this word over your life. I am seen by heaven, and I will walk in purpose. If you recognize that your genuine restraint impressed heaven enough to activate angelic protection around your identity, write 777 in the comments to amplify this frequency of celestial recognition. Subscribe to this channel and turn on all notifications to receive more revelations about how your authentic essence creates miracles in higher dimensions that manifest as blessings in your earthly experience. Share this video with someone who also demonstrates restraint and dignity that might be attracting angelic recognition without knowing, because chosen souls need to recognize and strengthen each other. And before you leave, watch the next video appearing on your screen to discover how your newly activated celestial protection attracts opportunities so perfectly aligned they seem designed specifically for you, because they are. Together, we rise toward the light.